Hi, Afsaneh. So it's nice to see you working again and getting motivated to prepare for IELTS. Let's take a look at this pie chart. The pie chart demonstrates various farming products in France in 2017. To begin, 6 different crops which were produced in France were compared, including corn, sugar, cotton, wheat, barley, and rice. Cotton had the most considerable share with 34.4, followed by sugar, wheat, and barley with 21, 20, and 18 respectively. Rice and corn constituted the least amount of agricultural products of France in 2017 with 3.5, 1.7 portions correspondingly. To continue, although cotton was the most common crop, it did not show much difference with the 3 next prevailing products. In addition, sugar, wheat, and barley had approximately similar shares of France's '(S) in France here. While cotton, sugar, wheat, and barley had high production, the rice and corn, not the rice, get rid of the. Rice and corn showed nearly 1/6 to 1/7 of other farming products. Overall, in France in 2017, there was not a great variety in farming, and 6 kinds with an S here. 6 kinds of crops constituted the whole agricultural products S, with the favoring of cotton and sugar. Okay, your overview is okay. I'm not super thrilled with the way you organized this. I felt it was really repetitive. So in other words, here, you basically said everything here, okay? So you gave me all the data, which was very detailed. You gave it all here, and so then what you just did here was you basically just talked about the same things again, but this time you just compared them to one another. So I thought that was a little awkward. There were other ways you could have done this. You didn't have to go to all the trouble of giving all the data in your first paragraph. I would have preferred basically you combining all of this and maybe separating the paragraphs into the top 3. So cotton, sugar, and wheat in the first paragraph, and then in the second paragraph talking about the other 3, or what is it? 3, or I'm not really sure. I think it's 3. It should be 3 more, right? Yeah. Or, there were other ways you could do it. Like I've said before, there are more roads than one that lead to Rome, and the same thing is true with task 1. There's more than one way to do things. This to me just felt a little repetitive. It's like this was all detail, and then here you did the comparison, so I thought it was a little awkward. Now the good news here is that the grammar was pretty good, so that's a positive thing to talk about, and the vocabulary was okay, even though there were a couple of things that were a little strange, I think. I think that's pretty much it. Your overview was fine. Okay, so let's move on. I'd like to see how you reorganize this, okay? When you correct it. I'd like to see a different organization. I know it's challenging. Alright, so I'll tell you a little bit about how maybe I would have done it. I would have spent a paragraph talking about the first 4. I would have talked about cotton and how it was the biggest proportion of the crops in France at over 1/3, more specifically 34.4. And then I would have talked about the next 3, since they look really similar, are they? Yeah, they are. Okay, the next 3 were between 18 and 23%. So they were, let's say, they each took anywhere between 20 to 25% of the crop share in France. And then you can get into more specifics. You could say that sugar was the second highest crop. I can't see the number, it's a little tiny, but then you could say at this, or then you could even talk about the difference between sugar and cotton. I think it looks, from what I can see, I can't really read that number. Anyway, you can talk about that, and then you can talk about wheat, and then you can talk about barley and how they compare to each other. then you can have another paragraph talking about those little ones, rice and corn, and how vast that difference is and how they compare also to one another. All right, that's probably how I would have organized this. I think that's one way you could try it. So give it a try. All right, and we'll look at your second essay. Okay, let's go to the essay about switching jobs. It is believed by some people that staying in the same job is more favorable than moving from one job to another one. I support the first group. How about I support the first position, or I support the first viewpoint, not the group, okay? Yeah. I support the first opinion, and the relevant reasons and examples are elaborated in this essay, okay? Fine. While changing the location of work is not the matter, remaining in the same job itself is fruitful. Okay, the central reason behind this is that individuals can enhance their knowledge and experience if they stick to their profession. To illustrate more, consider a female doctor who is a specialist in breast imaging. Know the. She may become an adroit after a few years of working in the same field and can diagnose the most complicated breast disease, whereas if she switched her field repeatedly, she would not be a master. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that remaining in the same jobs makes employees skilled or even well known after a while. Okay. Let's see. Okay, two things I want to talk about in this first paragraph. I didn't understand this first part of the sentence. While changing the location of work is not the matter. I didn't understand why you put that there. I didn't understand why we have this contrast. It didn't make any sense to me. You could have just said that there are a variety of reasons why remaining in the same job itself is fruitful. So, is fruitful. That would have made sense to me. So I don't understand why you had this contrast here. And then there was a vocabulary point that I wanted to point out. Here we go. An adroit. You have to become an adroit what? An adroit physician? An adroit professional? I'm not really sure. So adroit is an adjective, so I've never seen it as a noun. I would have to look it up to see if it could be used as a noun, but to the best of my knowledge, it's used only as an adjective, so it needs a verb. It needs a noun, and then of course it doesn't need an article. Okay, let's see. Now, alright, let's go to the second paragraph. The second justification is by keeping the same job, the chance of rising up, no, we don't call it the step ladder of hierarchy, we call it the career ladder. There's a very specific expression for this, so let's use it. The chance of rising up the career ladder is greater. It is explained by the fact that being in the same job results in knowing more key people and authorities in that field, which may help improving more in the future. Having a powerful circle of colleagues around is another key factor of job success. Know the here. For example, the chance of being a boss in a profession for a newcomer, that's one word, is about 0. Thus, it is, let's see. Alright, what I wanted here was extension. So, the chance of becoming a boss in a profession for a newcomer is about 0. This, however, changes once one has remained in the same profession for a considerable amount of time. So just extend it. Go that one step further to explain what you're talking about. Don't let the examiner have to draw his own conclusions, okay? Alright, therefore thus it is possible to state beyond doubt that holding the same career in the long term will open the doors of success. To sum up, staying in one job has ample benefits. To reach the summit, ample benefits. No. To sum up, staying in one job has ample benefits, such as reaching the summit of one's career, apostrophe as one's. Okay? That's probably how I would have said that. Alright, so Afsaneh, there's some good elements here. There were some mistakes, though, that I want you to pay attention to and try to improve. You are doing well, though. I can see your writing improving as you continue. Another thing that I want to talk about with you today is something I'd like you to think about in these essays. Take a look at the way the question was phrased. It says, staying in the same job, others think they should switch jobs. Okay? And then to what extent do you agree or disagree? So you were very clear that you think it's great to stay in the same job. But there's one thing I want you to think about. Why is there this debate? And to begin with, why are some people in favor of switching jobs? What is their logic? What justifications do they have? And is there anything that is worth exploring in this viewpoint? So what I'm suggesting to you is that perhaps what you should do is, rather than 100% just focusing on your side, maybe it is worthwhile also to say there are some valid reasons why one may choose to switch jobs throughout his career. And then you could talk about what you think those reasons are. All right? And then you can maybe condense some of these arguments and put them in one paragraph. All right? And then you could make that contrast by saying, despite the above, the benefits of staying in the same job throughout your career are greater. Okay, so it's something I want you to think about, because the question didn't just say, if it had just said that many people think people should stay in the same job for the rest of their lives, to what extent do you agree or disagree? If they had said that, I would say, okay, do it like the way you've done it. But they have presented this dilemma, this debate, okay, this two-sidedness of the issue. And so I'd like you to consider potentially talking about both sides. I'm sure you can come up with some reasons why it might in fact be a good idea to switch careers or switch jobs. It didn't say careers necessarily, but it did say switch jobs, okay? So think about that. Switching a career is a different thing. This is just talking about switching jobs. So, for example, here we talked about being a specialist in breast imaging. You could be a specialist, but you could just do it at a different location, at a different lab, or at a different hospital. So this is what I'm talking about. What are the benefits of that? And I want you to explore this a little bit. Think about maybe incorporating it when you see essays like this, where they are giving you this two-sidedness to the issue. Okay? All right, that's my feedback on this. You're doing a lot better. Keep at it, and I'll wait to see your next set of essays, okay? Good luck.